Welcome to Show, Don't Tell, a podcast by TelScreen's team of Wes Harris and Kent Harris, sharing their stories of being in the eye care industry in their unique, punny style with facilitator Christy. Did you already have any ideas, or are we jumping right in?
Let's talk about weekend travel.
I wondered if you wanted to go there or not.
Yeah, we're going there and back.
All right, so weekend travel.
Yeah, so we had an advanced procedures course with our northern neighbors in Edmonton, Alberta. And
that's Canada for all those who aren't familiar with the provinces of Canada.
And it was scheduled to begin at 10 a.m. on Saturday with our normal introduction to lasers lab. At least my participation. Obviously, the attendees had been there since Thursday doing other stuff. But anyway, so I left here about 11 o'clock on Thursday with a itinerary that would drop me in Edmonton before midnight, with the idea that I would then have all day Friday to set everything up in a nice, calm, peaceful manner.
Sure.
And maybe even, get to sightsee a little bit. And
oh, wait, we got to preface this story. A week and a half prior to his departure, we shipped 2 slit lamps and 2 tables to arrive at a hotel in Edmonton where this course was being shipped.
Yeah, so we provide slit lamps for the gonioscopy part of the course. And we happen to prefer our slit lamps. They do a fine job, and you can see everything, and the video works. And we feel good when we know the quality of the slit lamp we're attaching to.
Sure, it helps.
Mm-hmm. So I get to Minneapolis in plenty of time, and my next flight is a 7:05 to Calgary, with a connection at 11 o'clock to get into Edmonton just before midnight. And so I'm thinking, well, I'll get into Calgary. I can probably grab dinner there, and I wasn't particularly hungry at the moment. And so I'm kind of doing the killing time in the airport thing, reading a little email, whatever. And then the announcement is your 7:05 flight has been delayed. The new time is 7:35. Like, okay, yeah, that's not so bad. We'll still be fine. Followed 30 minutes later by, we have a mechanical issue. Your plane will now depart at 8:30. I'm thinking, by the time we get to Calgary, there may be few food choices. Maybe I should have dinner. So I went to I forget what it's called. I think it was the high-low or something.
High-low Jack's Joker. High-low Jack Joker.
Yeah, something like that. But anyway, they had a very nice Impossible Burger. Or was it a turkey burger? I forget. Anyway, but a non-red meat burger for those of us who need to minimize our consumption, and that was delicious. Got that to go, and was feeling pretty good, and thinking, okay, 8:35, I can still make my 11 o'clock connection since we gain an hour going that direction. And then we find out, you're delayed until 10 o'clock because we don't have crew for 8:30. We're getting pilots timing out. There's weather coming in. We have a tornado warning in effect.
Oh, you got to forward that picture you took from the...
Kristen's already got it.
She got it. Oh, okay.
That's already been posted. We let everybody know on our Facebook and Instagram that he was hitting the trifecta.
Yeah. So now it's getting more exciting. Because leaving at 10 is going to be pretty close to, I'm thinking, well, if they can hold my flight to Edmonton a half hour, surely they'll do that. They won't strand us in Calgary. And so I'm thinking, okay, yeah, we can still make it. Followed by a whole bunch of dings as everybody's Fly Delta app goes off, and then the announcement from the desk, you've just received your hotel vouchers.
Oh.
There are hotel shuttles available on the lower level, and your flight has been rescheduled for 9:30 tomorrow morning. And by the way, if you'd like to have your luggage, you can go to baggage claim office and submit a request. It'll take them about an hour and a half to 2 hours to dig your bag out of the pile.
Ouch.
So I'm like, 10 o'clock, get my bag after midnight, get to the hotel, come back for 9:30 flight. I'll just wing it. I'll just go without the bag. And so I head down and see a horde of people waiting for the airport shuttle.
Of course.
And I waited about 5 minutes and saw no shuttle for my hotel. So I went back indoors across a narrow hallway to a different door to the taxi stand. My first thought, of course, was, well, I'll just get an Uber. And then I looked at, surge pricing is in effect. I guess a lot of people had that idea.
What? You didn't say, my name is Serge. I can get good pricing?
Stop. Beverly Hills Cop reference for those of you too young to get it. So there were 3 cabs still left in line. I'm like, I'll take that one, please. I get to the Comfort Inn and Suites at Mall of America.
Okay.
Which, at least it's the mall. And I've seen it before.
If you've seen one, you've seen them all.
That's the punchline for another joke. Yeah. If you've seen Juan, you've seen them all. They're twins. Anyway. But roll up in the cab, get out. The line from the checkout desk goes all the way across the entry area, through the double doors into the Outback Steakhouse next door. And we're about halfway between the men's room and the Sheila's. And they have some padded seating there, so about halfway down. Looking at the line, figuring maybe there's 30 people in front of me, and hopefully it's not 30 parties. Maybe we'll get through this before tomorrow. So we wait in line a little bit, and it's moving. It's we're not stuck there. It's moving pretty decently. And about 10 minutes later, an airport shuttle group comes in, and they see the line. They go to the back of the line, and now we're all the way to the men's room. And a little bit after that, a woman comes in pushing a double-wide stroller. Both sides occupied.
Oh, no.
And she starts to head for the back of the line. And we say, you know what? I think you should probably go to the front of the line. And one of the people behind me kind of takes the lead role and says, would anybody object to her going to the front of the line? And common sense prevailed. The entire line agreed that her need was greater.
What?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Selfless acts.
That's fantastic.
Kind of renewed my faith in humanity. We all did the right thing. Nobody got mean and nasty about, I've been waiting in line, you go to the back.
Right.
It was all absolutely go right ahead.
Get them babies to bed.
Because if she had to wait 2 hours in line, it would not have been pretty.
For anybody.
So we let her be the next person served and got her room.
And thus much wailing and gnashing of teeth was avoided.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
That's from the Bible reference.
I know that.
So, just trying to cover, a span of movie references there.
Although I did have a boss back in the day when I worked at KFC. He's like, yeah, don't you hear the wailing and gnashing of teeth from the corporate office?
Are they taste testing that chicken again? Sometimes a little rubbery.
When you have a big corporate shift, things happen.
Yeah.
So did you get a room finally?
So we inched forward a little bit further. I got through the double doors and, could actually see the desk. And about this time, somebody in the middle of the line takes delivery of a Little Caesars pizza.
Yes!
And I'm thinking, 5 points to you. And if you wanted to make a bundle, you could probably sell pizza by the slice. You could probably get $10 a slice at that point.
That is brilliant.
There were some hungry people. A few people looking around for, what's still open, what's closed, what's available.
Yeah.
And, this is getting closer to 11 o'clock-ish. So as I got closer to the line, I did what every engineer does.
This is true. Every engineer does this.
I pulled out my phone, I got the stopwatch going, and I timed how long was the service time for each person. Because I was just kind of curious, how fast are we moving? And I was impressed that we were actually noticeably moving at a rate that gave us all hope that we would get there eventually. This woman was amazing. Between 1.5 minutes and 2.5 minutes per party.
Wow.
Go up there, show your Delta thing on your phone, and scan the stuff, take it down, ask you when your flight is tomorrow, sign you up for the airport shuttle in the morning, let you know when breakfast is, Wi-Fi, etc. Here's your key, elevator to my right.
Wow.
1.5 minutes to 2.5 minutes.
Clearly not her first rodeo.
No, clearly not.
So as we get closer, then a few people are commenting upon how speedy she's going, And she said, well, I actually am not supposed to be here tonight. My replacement was supposed to arrive but didn't.
Oh.
But yeah, this is a common thing. This is not a once a
absolutely
year.
is,
This is a very common thing, and we're prepared for it. So yeah, just stack of keys, write the room number, hand it over, off you go. It was impressive.
Wow. She needs a raise.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I'm thinking if she's collecting $90 every minute and a half, she that's a pretty good hourly rate. Sign me up.
But that did include breakfast.
So you had to do an overnight.
So yeah, I got to my room before midnight. That was good.
And he was very thankful that he'd eaten beforehand.
Absolutely. Eat when you can. Definitely a lesson from the road.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't starve all night. But so you can do one night without a bag. It's not that hard. You kind of hang your clothes up and hope they hang the wrinkles out and put them where the AC hits them and try to.
That's what the smelly good stuff is for there in the, in the bathroom. You just take some shampoo, conditioner, you just dab some wherever, and off you go.
Yeah. So, grab the shower in the morning, put on the same clothes. But not, suboptimal.
Hey,
As long as
you can flip your underwear one day.
Right.
as long as it's still public presentable, there's no stains, and it's not stinky, you can kind of get away with a lot of stuff. And I also know, Blake, gum can replace not brushing your teeth if you have to.
Well, after the first cup of coffee, it doesn't matter.
No,
So,
nothing matters after that.
You just have your coffee first thing at breakfast and you're fine.
And most hotels have toothbrushes.
You can also get a
and-
travel tooth.
Yes.
And
yes,
travel stuff
yeah.
is so nice now.
But, hop up in the morning for that 7:30 airport shuttle for my 9:30 flight, only to discover that my flight is now 11 o'clock, not 9:30.
God.
So,
Thank goodness you woke up early.
absolutely. and got breakfast, and I was outside at 7:28 for that 7:30 shuttle, right on time.
At least you had food. You've had coffee.
Mm-hmm.
You're raring to go again.
I don't know about raring, but, I'm vertical and I'm conscious. So.
He was medium rare, heading toward well done.
But yes, it was another day starting out with hope. So, when I get to the airport, I'm like, well, let me check my itinerary. Then the Fly Delta app shows, okay, Louisville to Minneapolis yesterday, check. Today rescheduled to 11 o'clock, getting into Calgary, I think like 12:30 or something. And then I look at Calgary to Edmonton. Yesterday, 11 to 11:57. Like, hold on a second. I need that next leg to actually get me to Edmonton today.
Yeah.
So I go to the one of the gates, and they say, well, we can't do that here. We're boarding flights, et cetera. You'll have to go to the help desk, the Delta, whatever, help desk, and it's by such and such a gate, and kind of the gate's going to be on your left, look to your right. Most people miss it. So find it. It's got a nice 20-foot tall glass windows behind it with the morning sun coming in and baking that alcove like a greenhouse. And the poor Delta people are still wearing full uniform, jacket, and everything.
God.
I'm like, holy cow, that's
Work
dedication.
for Delta. The perks are amazing.
They're in such a good mood.
Heated lunch.
When it's 20 below outside, you probably appreciate the sun streaming in.
Sure.
But
sure.
it was a nice day in Minneapolis, and it was probably 75 or 80 in that alcove. But they worked through a few things, and the system wouldn't let them do this and wouldn't let them do that. And they eventually, I don't know, probably 15, 20 minutes later, handed me a stack of coupons showing, exchange and, this flight canceled, that flight substituted, blah, blah, blah. And, of course, the flight from Calgary to Edmonton is on WestJet, not Delta. So code-sharing partner, but Canadian airline.
Right.
So, you kind of expect things to be fouled up just a little bit.
Yeah, because communication's great everywhere.
Well, computer systems don't talk to each other. So I think I'm set, and I find the gate and discover that there are two flights from Minneapolis to Calgary, both departing at 11 a.m. One is my flight number rescheduled from the previous evening, where they kept the same flight number, same everything. and the other one is the regularly scheduled 11 o'clock flight. So 2 flights.
Oh, that was fun.
2 different gates, both going to the same place.
And the gates aren't that close to each other either.
And one was F, and the other one was it G, or was it further up the alphabet? I forget. But not even in the same concourse. Yeah.
Okay.
So every now and then you see people go up and get scanned, and then they get kicked to a different line, and then they start walking off that way. Yeah, they looked up and they said, Minneapolis to Calgary, 11 o'clock, that's me, and took the first one on the board, which was not them.
But you being the engineer, you actually looked at the right number, right? You got on the right plane.
Yeah, numbers are helpful that way.
Yeah, okay.
So waiting in line, and then a group of us get called up for passport validation checks because we are going to a foreign country, even though they're like next door
right
neighbors.
There.
Yeah.
It's not, I know people around here.
Let's face it, Canadians think differently. It's foreign.
Well, I was just thinking most people in Louisville think that Indiana is a foreign country, but it's just right there.
Right. We're just crossing a small river.
Right.
So, anyway, now at the gate,
Yes.
the gate agent reminds me of my cousin Kelly. She's the person who's president of the PTA, and she's in charge of everything.
Okay.
Yeah. So very much a take charge person. So while she's doing passport checks, she's also handling crew check-in. And apparently some of the crew had new badges that wouldn't scan on the regular scanner, so she had to check them in manually. And then, of course, the pilot gets a printout. The crew gets a printout. So she's pulling off these long scrolls off their thermal printer.
Right, the Santa checklist, the names.
Right, and handing that over to crews they're going by. She's covering like 14 bases at once, simultaneously. Just super competent, and clearly in charge of this process, and used to dominating, and nothing's gonna defeat her. Until she gets to my passport and my
really?
and my ticket, and she looks at this and she says, "Oh."
Uh-oh. No, what?
Yes. And so it takes her about 10 more minutes to kind of click through and figure things out and fix things to where she's now certain everything is in order. But she can't issue me a boarding pass for my WestJet flight because, Delta and WestJet are code-sharing partners, but that doesn't mean that they talk to each other. So, she just... Yeah, here you go, but I have now a correct boarding pass for this rescheduled flight, but no boarding pass for the next flight. But I do have the little coupon thing that will let me get a boarding pass when I get to Calgary. So.
And then the rain started.
That's a local current comment.
Oh, that is
the
that.
rain.
Did you hear the rain? Yes.
Yeah, that's the soft.
Yeah, the soft, gentle rain that makes us all want to take an afternoon nap.
Yes. Okay, so, okay.
Except if you're hearing it, it's not soft rain. It's a little stronger than that.
Before we hit the record button, we had thunder over Louisville, like official, organic, natural thunder over Louisville. All right, so are you on the plane yet?
So, yes, finally we get on the plane. And, of course, it's still a U.S. flight, so we don't have to put our masks on. But as soon as we land in Calgary to deplane, we have to put our masks on.
Okay.
And obviously, you do what you have to do. So, walk out in Calgary, and you're walking up one side of a concourse that has a glass wall in the middle. On the other side of the glass wall is all the departure gates.
Yes.
But you're still on the international arrival side. And
you still got to go through all the rigmarole once you get into an internet. Okay.
Yes, so you now have to arrive in customs and make your declarations. Okay, Mr. Harris, how many bags do you have? 2. Yes, that's correct. And do you have any commercial goods? Blah, blah, blah. Well, I have 7 imaging systems, 7 cameras, 7 sets of optics, 8 sets of cables just in case, my tool bag, etc. So you have to declare all that as commercial stuff. It's not personal property, obviously.
I still kind of laugh because they say declare, like, what are you declaring? I declare a day off.
I'm sick of flying.
I do declare.
Yeah, there were several things I wanted to declare, but I held my tongue.
Because he didn't want to be an engineer behind bars.
So, you run through the chute, the cattle chute, right?
Sure.
The cow pen.
And about this time, You had
I get this feeling that my bag is on the other side of the wall. Behind the customs agent's counter, there's another glass wall, and you see the baggage carousels. And this wasn't just like a vague, discomforted feeling. This was like a strong sense that my bag is out there and it shouldn't be.
Oh, no.
And so as I'm walking through the cow pens, I'm peering between the custom booths, and I can see two of the carousels. And I'm looking, do I see my red bag? And now, the other bag was a black bag, totally nondescript, soft side black bag like everybody else's. So I'm not going to spot that one. But my red bag is fairly distinct, and it's
got some blue tape. It's got some markers. And it's got
decidedly
definitely,
Wes.
This is duct tape that matches the Divers Alert Network colors. So left over from my father-in-law's stash of multicolored duct tape.
Got it.
So anyway.
Designed to be recognizable in 14 countries.
Thus being good on a baggage claim.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Anyway, I never see my bag, but for 30 minutes I have this very strong sense that my bag is over there. And anyway, eventually I get to the front of the line, customs, and they say follow the green line around to your next checkpoint, on the way to the departure gates. And so I get there, and the guy's asking for boarding passes. The boarding pass for the flight that you came in on.
You only have a coupon. What are you going to do?
And the boarding pass for the flight that you're leaving on. And I said, I don't have a boarding pass for my next flight yet. I'll need to get that at the gate. And he says, no, you have to go to this desk over here, WestJet, and they'll issue you a boarding pass. So leave the queue for the other side and go back to this side again, find the WestJet desk. There were 5 of us in line in similar situations. 2 of them, for some reason, could not be helped. And they had to exit the customs side to the baggage claim carousel, back to ticketing.
Did they forget to have Canadian currency to slip to the agent?
That would have put them also behind bars.
I'm just saying.
Anyway, I felt sorry for them. They were in front of me, and they were obviously somewhat distraught because they're probably going to miss their connecting flight.
Yeah, absolutely.
With all the process involved. But yeah, I got up there, and I think the second Delta agent fixed things because they took a look at the ticket, did a little scan thing, a couple key clicks, boom, here you go. Here's your boarding pass, Mr. Harris. Have a good flight. So then, back to the green arrow, follow the line around. Get to the agent who's asked now for the boarding passes, and I said, which one do you want? I've got 5 boarding passes for the flight I came in on. I said, I sense there's a story there, but any one of them will do. So check the passes, scan the passport, off you go. And then after you leave that area, there's a little doorway and a little kiosk thing, and you have to scan something else, and off you go. But on the other side of that is another check of your boarding pass. I'm like, are you serious? Holy Canadian redundancy.
What about your bag? Was it actually at that
So at this point, I'm now on the other side, and I can, let's see. And so I can just go to my gate. And I never saw my bags in Calgary. They were checked through to Edmonton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're safe on the bag, not being at that bag on the turnstile.
As far as I know.
It made it to where you needed it to go.
But yeah, so
Okay.
I have a 4 o'clock out of Calgary to Edmonton, getting in at 4:50, just in time to claim my bags in Edmonton and hit the reverse rush hour. So I'll be heading into town from the south side while everybody else, I guess, is commuting out. So it shouldn't be too bad. We board, we take off again, full masks in Canada. So, wear the thing and go. I did manage to find a little bit of lunch in Calgary because eat when you can. Mm-hmm. You never know what's going to happen. Land in Edmonton, follow the signs, find the baggage carousel, and I see my black bag, which is good because that has the 7 cameras and beam splitters and relay lenses and 4 of the 7 sets of cable, 4 of the 8 sets of cables, but not my tool bag. But I don't need much from the tool bag most of the time. So, find the WestJet baggage counter.
Oh my God.
Missing bag. Now, I've got this habit now that's, I guess it's a habit. I've been doing it probably for 3 or 4 trips now, where for any international flight, I'll take a picture of my bag sitting on our shipping scale here with the weight displayed. So
That's smart.
yeah, here's a picture of my bag. Here's how much it weighs, and
That's a great tip.
and I had in this case the limit for Canada was 23 kilos or 50 pounds. So 23 kilos is actually 50.6 pounds. So if you're weighing it in Canada, you can have a little bit more coming back and still be okay. But I had my bags balanced 49.9 and 50.0.
Yeah. He had 100 pounds of equipment. Very little of that was clothes. If you've seen my brother, you know he is not a fashion diva. So we don't do these shows. We don't do the courses in suits or anything.
3 pounds per day.
So,
3 pounds of clothes per day. That's all I need.
so
But anyway, so file the claim. Here's my bag. Here's what it looks like. And the lady behind the counter, very helpful. She clicks on the computer. It takes her about 4 or 5 minutes. I have my original Delta baggage claim ticket from Louisville from Thursday. So I show her that, and she tracks it. She says, "Oh yes, your bag's in Calgary. It was offloaded into customs."
So on the other side of that thing.
Oh, it really was.
It really was there. Yes. So, like, well, when will it arrive? And she said, well, the next flight's the 11 o'clock, which was the one I was on the previous Thursday scheduled for. So 11 o'clock arriving, 11:50, whatever. I said, well, it's very important that I have that bag because we have almost 100 doctors that are relying upon this equipment to have a workshop. So get it to the hotel. I don't care if it's 1 a.m., 2 a.m., whatever. Wake me up. I need that bag. She said, okay, we'll get your bag to you. So find the cab to the hotel, get a room, check in, wash my face, start setting up for the 10 o'clock lab on Saturday because my Friday easy day is now
gone,
starting at 6:30 or so
PM.
And instead of 9 a.m. bright and early and well refreshed and rested. So fortunately, we had 8 lasers for this course. Typically, we have 4 or sometimes 5. But we had 4 lasers from NIDEC and 4 lasers from LX. So, and we have, coincidentally, 4 stations. So we could have one of each laser in each station for side-by-side use, and everybody would have a chance to see both lasers.
Types. Yeah.
So because we had extra lasers, I wasn't as concerned, but my question is, where are my slit lamps? Where are my tables? They're in Winnipeg, which is somewhere around a
not near Edmonton.
10 to 12-hour drive.
Crap on a cracker. What the heck?
Stuck in a customs warehouse in Winnipeg. So I called back here to Chris, and he tracked down some stuff, and basically it's Friday, it's a weekend, they're stuck in a warehouse.
Oh my God.
Even if they left that instant, I wouldn't get them until late Saturday at the earliest. And so anyway, plan B, since we had 8 lasers, it was now, okay, we're going to divide up the equipment, 2 per station, and we'll use 2 of the lasers as slit lamps for gonioscopy. And so we get the equipment partitioned, set up for Saturday morning, and a plan, backup plan engaged for Sunday. I think I was probably close to 10 o'clock or so by the time I was finished. Borrowed tools from Hotel Engineering.
Wow, they had an Allen wrench of that size?
Well, they had...
Or did they
it's
have
funny. They did not have a 2mm Allen wrench, but they had the English equivalent.
Funny.
in metric Canada, they had the English equivalent. So, and their Allen wrenches were all painted yellow. I'm not sure why.
Awesome.
Interesting.
I think that meant this belongs to Hotel Engineering. Don't take these home because they're ugly yellow Allen wrenches now.
I guess they would have Allen wrenches because that's a common tool for the doors that have the push. The push panel on the doors when you want to lock or unlock a door permanently, you need an Allen wrench to do a set screw to hold that. So that actually makes sense that they would have that.
Anyway, but they had the set, and the smallest one was small enough, so that worked out. Of course, grab a couple screwdrivers and go to work. But yeah, I finally set up Friday
Not
evening.
the drink for those of you listening at this point.
Although you might need one at this point.
Yeah. But
you guys aren't actually seeing Wes. We didn't do the video this time, but he's just, anytime you hear a pause in this story, it's because Wes is just internally thinking and just shaking his head like, I can't believe we just got through this.
So now it's Friday night, one more night with no luggage.
Yeah, because the red bag had his clothes in it.
Right,
So the black
yes.
bag was only equipment.
Oh, no.
The red bag was clothes plus the remainder of the equipment. Because of, again, the 50-pound bag limit, you have to partition, your stuff.
But, it's next time I will probably partition the equipment a little bit differently. And
I'm thinking 4-dimensional underwear. That way you can flip it twice and use it.
I'm thinking more along the lines of some cameras and some cables and some clothing in each bag so that no matter which one they lose, I can do half the job. I don't know.
At least. I think that's a way better idea.
I don't know, because I was lucky I got the bag that had cameras in it. Otherwise, I guess we were hosed.
Wow.
I mean, it would have made Saturday morning a little bit different
Or
than usual.
whatever the patron saint of air baggage finding and air travel. I don't know if that's still under St. Anthony's domain of finding lost things, but whatever patron saint is that manages that, you need to find the corresponding patron saint of exit finding between customs and baggage handling to allow you to act on the first instinct to go search for your bag and find it. Because if there was a way to do that, had you done that, you would have found it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised but you're an engineer, you're not me, because I probably went up, hey, I think that's my bag. I need to get my bag. And then it would have been a Seinfeld episode, I'm sure.
Well, you can't do that.
Watch me. I would have ducked under the panels or whatever. They would have caught me, but then they wouldn't know why. Like, we need to check this bag. It's that red bag. Well, we need to pull you to security. Well, get the bag while you're at it.
I need that to blow up the airport.
I wouldn't have taken it that far.
I guess actually, I don't know. In Calgary, if I missed the 4 o'clock, there was still the 11 o'clock I could have been on with my bag.
Oh, my gosh.
And then it just means getting up at 6 a.m. to set up for the workshops.
Right.
But after that, I could take a nap.
So did you manage to come home
well
enough?
So Saturday, this is day 2 of wearing travel clothes and airport clothes and airplane clothes. And I'm trying to figure out how in the world can I stand upwind of myself? Because it's not smelling real good at this point.
Well, you need to bring your own fan to create your own wind that's downwind of you. You really need to be your biggest fan.
Yeah. So, I'm walking wide of people. I'm not getting too close to anybody.
Okay.
But finally, so the Saturday morning workshops, we pull them off. It works. But they end at noon. And at the front desk about 12:30, I get my bag and run up to the room, take a shower and feel human again. I'm tempted to burn the clothes I'm wearing. But yeah, so it was nice. And then I had a leisurely Saturday afternoon to set up for the all-day Sunday with 2 groups of doctors, 7:30 to 11:30 and 1 to 5, all-day workshops and testing and all that stuff, and takedown. Takedown was remarkably quick since I didn't have any slit lamps to deal with.
Now, all that stuff, you got to get it back here somehow, too, right?
Yeah, so the slit lamps, I guess, will be returned from customs to us eventually.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. But the return trip was uneventful. I think I had a 20-minute delay out of Detroit. That was it. So,
oh, well, okay.
That was just regular air travel.
It was horrible. I waited 20 minutes waiting to pick him up at Stanford Field here in Louisville. Awful. Why aren't things on time?
You're just wanting some of this attention, aren't you?
Oh, pity me. Poor me. I'm the youngest. Can you tell?
Oh, the other part about the trip home that I thought was fascinating, taking off from Toronto, having been in Canada where it was kind of unseasonably warm in Edmonton. It was like low 60s in May, which apparently is fairly warm. The cab driver on the way back is telling me about, when it's 40 below and and a foot of snow, that's no big deal.
To you, maybe.
Right, yeah. So it's a hardier breed in Edmonton,
When it's
that's for sure.
freezing in both Fahrenheit and Celsius, that's when you get out of town.
Yeah, 40 below is the point at which both scales meet.
Yeah, and
So 40 below Fahrenheit and 40 below Celsius is the same temperature, and it's cold.
okay, that's really all I'm concerned about, and I would not do that.
Anyway, so my sinuses were great. No pollen, not enough spring yet to really set off any allergy
Unlike what
triggers.
you come back home to, for sure.
And from Toronto to Detroit is not a very long flight. About a half hour in, my sinuses just stop up instantly. Well, apparently the pollen that's down here also goes up there.
Well, the pollen doesn't have a passport, and they couldn't get through customs because they don't have a real need. They didn't have an invoice to sell
nothing
pollen.
to declare.
They have nothing to declare. Well, they couldn't declare because they're all stopped up.
Yeah. So the pollen apparently is directly over the United States in a wall. And with the 3-minute changeover of your cabin air, that pollen gets in. Filtered or not, I felt it, and took my last Benadryl to clear that up real quick. But
I know it is a huge difference driving, even like if you go to, like, we went to North Carolina recently, or you go to Florida and you come back and you hit this point in Kentucky, driving up that 65 corridor, there's a moment and you feel it. You're like, welcome home.
the allergens we know and love.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So anyway, I asked Pat about that the other night, and he says, well, the pollen doesn't stay on the ground. It actually goes up until the atmosphere runs out. So if you have pollen here, you have
5 miles
pollen
up,
there.
you can't escape from the pollen. So just don't even try.
Great. There's nowhere you can go.
Buy stock in allergy companies now. They're making a killing.
Okay, so you made it through this weekend saga.
Yes.
Did your doctors have a good time? How did the actual event go?
Well, we had a good workout. Now, the other thing you have to know is Saturday night, Edmonton Oilers and LA Kings are playing Game 7, first round of the NHL playoffs. So every single doctor was interested in, not every single one, there may be 3 that weren't hockey fans. Or I think they were from BC, though.
Does it feel like March Madness around here? Like
Yes.
that? Okay,
Yes.
got it.
And we were only a few blocks from the arena.
Oh.
And outside the arena, there are thousands of people gathering in the Oilers orange jerseys. I mean, every single person there has a jersey, just about. So Dr. Lighthizer and Dr. Shetler and the laser rep from Dallas decided Game 7, Edmonton. Let's see if we can get tickets. So they went to SeatGeek. They picked up 3 tickets on the glass just inside the blue line.
Wow.
For about $500 a piece.
Wow.
But Game 7 in Edmonton experience, incredible.
Yeah.
And you could see them on TV because they were the 3 guys in a row wearing blue in a sea of orange.
Go Illini.
A little plug for our alma mater.
Nice.
But anyway, so Saturday night, Game 7. And then Sunday night, Calgary Flames are playing Game 7 against the Dallas Stars. And so the laser rep said, well, I guess I can get to Calgary about 7 o'clock. I think he had a COVID test for his pre-departure. Because to get back to the U.S., you have to have a negative test.
Yep.
You don't have to have one to get into Canada, coincidentally, or interestingly enough.
Okay.
But anyway, so he's thinking, well, I could just get my test at the airport and then just go straight to the arena, and I could probably see Game 7 Calgary as well. Of course, he was going to be rooting for the opposing team, but I think he missed out on the doubleheader of Game 7s. But both Alberta teams won, so the Battle of Alberta starts tonight. Game 1, second round, Calgary and Edmonton. I think it's in Calgary. So for all you hockey fans out there.
About the timing of this recording. So whatever, by the time you hear it, we'll already know who won.
Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, we won't know because we don't care about hockey. It's not basketball, but someone on the internet will know.
It takes 3 weeks for hockey results to get to Kentucky.
Okay.
I think they're lost in customs, honestly.
But anyway, aside from the hockey diversion, yes, the doctors are very much engaged in the course. They didn't know any different. They didn't see the scramble behind the scenes of we don't have slit lamps, we're going to have to use lasers. We've only got 4 cameras in the morning. Well, 4 was all we needed, thank goodness. And we hope more arrives, and they did. So we had regular workshops and talked to a couple doctors afterwards, and yeah, they felt like they learned a lot, got the education they needed, and certainly will be making a legislative effort at some point to get permission now to use the skills that they've acquired. And when you look at the province, there's a lot of rural land between Edmonton and the northern edge.
And the nearest gas station.
Yeah.
That's a little backstory for me when I almost ran out of gas when I was 16, traveling with my parents across Canada from the World's Fair back to Kentucky. And, about ran out of gas in Manitoba. Just made it over the border into the Manitoba line, coast down the hill into the gas station. Plenty.
Shift into neutral, hope you make it.
Yeah.
And you had your parents with you?
I was only 16 at the time, so this was part of my driving education.
And they weren't paying closer attention?
Right.
They were asleep. They were asleep.
Holy cow.
Oh.
That's trust.
This is when, remember when, this was
I
when
wasn't there.
My aunt and uncle were along. So it was my mom and dad, my aunt and uncle, and me. Now, my uncle is a retired mechanic. From TWA, actually, and an experienced car mechanic. So,
But if you don't have gas to put in a car, there's only so much you can do.
But when I'm like, has anyone seen some gas nearby? And he wakes up. He's like, don't accelerate heavy. Coast over the hills. Because we're seeing signs like, 200 miles to the next gas station.
Oh, crap.
Stuff like that on in 86. Forget what it was, the Petro station or whatever it was.
Didn't do that again for a while, did you?
The Canada Leaf, the red Canada Leaf station. I remember which.
I don't know.
Didn't do that for a while, did you?
Yeah. So, I was much more attentive to the state of the gas gauge at that point. But,
Okay, well, we're definitely past our normal time, but it's been
it's been a long trip. Thanks for staying with us. Hope you go out there, get a shower, clean up, feel good. Maybe you'll find your bag.
Out of this conversation, take notes, because everything that was either had good things to do, like take a picture of your
of your luggage with weight if you have it.
Luggage with weight, just in case. Make sure your luggage is distinguishable on a baggage claim. And you might want to just pack another outfit and an overnight toiletry bag in any bag that you take, just in case.
Yeah, instead of the laptop computer, a change of clothes would have been a welcome addition.
You at least put an extra pair of underwear in there.
There are Walmarts and
I didn't even the mall wasn't even open when I was leaving. I'm right there at the mall. Except that it was closed the whole time I was there.
Well, dear listener of ours, if you've made it this far, we appreciate you. Check for any updates that we may have, either for product-wise or stuff going on with TelScreen. You can check our Facebook channel. You can also check our Instagram. You can follow us on both. And if nothing else, you can always go to
www.telscreen.com
for all of our latest articles, podcasts, any new, I know we don't have anything like services already out there, products, although we could... No, you'll just have to follow us on social to find out. I'm not giving away any secrets today. We don't have time for that.
And that's a teaser, folks.
That's right. That's what we call that. Awesome. Well, thanks, everybody. Stay tuned for the next episode of Show Don't Tell.